Language barrier, once again, check out my book. If you guys haven't checked that, if you guys checked out the show notes, I have a link to my book and it talks all about networking and communication and language barrier and how do you, the steps that you need in order to break down the language barrier and steps that you can take to help, because these arise more often than not, that you can't communicate with the people that you need to communicate, and that can lead to a shorter career. So that's something that you must have. How do you better understand the player that you are communicating with when it comes down to your teammates or the people in the organization or just in the city that you're around? And I just kind of break down in there a little bit more step by step on how you need to, certain tips and tricks, not even tips and tricks, just how do you go about the situation? How do you mentally handle that situation? Because if you can't mentally handle not being able to communicate and don't not look for other ways to bring up connecting ways, like I believe one of the instances in the book, I said that, take them out. Maybe the player that you want to deal, like your point guard, for example, your point guard, you and him don't speak the same language and you can't communicate with him and it's showing on the court. Hey, after the game, after practice, go out with that player. Take that player out. Create a different emotion, create a connection of a feeling for the person by just buying them something to eat and laughing with them, joking about the fact that you don't understand the same language together, joking about the fact that that you can't talk to each other. You would be surprised on how far that would take you in your team with a player that you don't even know how to communicate with, because y'all created a different connection. Now y'all created a different connection and now y'all have the chemistry. Even if I'm not able to talk to you as much, now we created the chemistry that is deeper than just basketball. Once you create that connection that's deeper than just basketball, now you're communicating on another level with a person because now they feel you. You ever have some of those players that you play with so much and you be like, man, I feel him, bro. Like, I know what he finna do. He know what I finna do. Or I know my team. I know when this person go here, we're going to go there. We're just a finely tuned machine. A lot of times that doesn't always, communication is a big part of it, but there's so much other factors that go along with that that allows that to happen. So I believe I have that in the show notes for all the listeners. You get a discount for anyone that's a listener. Go pick up that book for guys that are serious, because it really breaks down how you can become a player and navigate across these types of issues that do come up a lot of times. A lot of times these come up, and if you don't, they're just so not talked about and not perceived as a big deal until it's a big deal. Misconception number 8. Overseas players have unlimited free time and do not need to focus on any other aspects of life outside of basketball, such as personal growth or education. You are blessed with free time. That is one thing that I stress a lot on this platform, is utilizing the free time that you have as an athlete overseas. And I believe that one of the biggest things that we do as athletes, as being a pro, as being in this game, is I realize that we waste a lot of time not preparing for what's important after the life and during the life. We waste the time on things that are not important, that don't move. It's like once you get into the game so deep, you think that there is nothing else and you don't have to prepare and work towards anything else. You should be using majority of your career to build for when you're done. You're just one of the blessings that basketball professionally gives you is the opportunity to seek out new skills, and it allows you the time to work and develop new skills and work on your personal growth and just developing yourself to a better human being, or learning a high value skill that you can use after you're done playing the game. Because now you have the money along with the time that you put into a skill to utilize when you're done with your career. Most guys don't even realize that my career is going to be over with one day, and what am I going to do? Just pick up a regular job? If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But that's not what it's there for. All this free time, most players just play 2K all day. I'm finna blow it down, play 2K all day. I'm finna hop on the game. I'm finna get on live. I'm finna just chop it up. You don't get the time. You don't get to just sit back and waste that time, which I'm very much guilty of. Waste that time not utilizing for what's the most important. If we start valuing first and foremost time and how important that is over the money, and realize the more time that we put into ourselves and developing ourselves will allow us to generate more money for ourselves, because we're using, no matter what, without time we can't do anything. We don't have time to learn something, we can't make more money. We don't have time to train, we can't get better. If we don't have time to do the things that we need to do, we can never pursue or further any aspect or endeavor that we have in life. That's why we need that. But with this life, you get a various amount of free time that most athletes, like I just talked to one of my friends, he's like, I got 2 days off. We just had 2 days, and then you probably got to practice for another 2.5 hours the next day, and you got a 8 days off before your next game. So you have 2 days off, and then you're going to go once a day for those rest of those practices. You might lift, and then you're going to have one practice. You're done by 1:30. You have the rest of the day for yourself. Look at all that time. What are you using all that time with? How does the light keep changing? What are you utilizing all that time for? That is something you do not. One thing you don't want to do as an athlete is waste the time and not utilizing and maximizing the opportunity to develop something further for yourself in your life. You have to develop. That's what I learned. That's why all this created. This platform, this podcast, because this takes a lot of time. And in order to do this, I have to utilize that time for it. So I took up all that free time from playing the game, from always going out or whatever, and just Netflixing it up to death to build something, to learn something, learn about my finances, learn about managing my money, learn about the game, learn about the business aspect of the game, learn about how to invest your money. Just taking time to learn the essential things that can further and develop your life, because you have the time to do it. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.